Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Development Sector Series, which is Dev Sector Series. Compliments of the season, everyone. Hope you all are having, preparing for the holidays, preparing for Christmas, the New Year's, really reflecting on your goals for 2022 and your goals for 2021, how much we've been able to accomplish, how much we've been able to exceed, how much more work we need to do to translate to 2022. So, very excited that you have us as a part of your day. So now I just have a few announcements for you. In the month of December to mid-January, I am going to be playing Dev Sector Series episodes that you may have missed, or some key ones that we're looking to just kind of further highlight so that more people can see because of some of the notes that have been highlighted in the session. So I'm very excited about that. So in case you've missed anything, please just make sure that you are able to catch up with us. So we're going to be having an exciting one today. It's infrastructure in Africa with Dr. Architect Michael Osiegbe Onolememen, who was the former Minister of Works of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we had a great conversation about his work as the former Minister of Works, some of the successes that they were able to meet, the milestones, some of the challenges that they were able to overcome. So you guys just watch and enjoy. Also, just a few announcements. We're going to have some great things coming up. The grant writing workshop is coming up towards the end of January. That is going to be coming up soon. If you're interested in the grant writing webinar, I'm going to put the link in the comments so that you can click and watch, so that it's something that you can watch and then reflect on your goals for your nonprofit or social enterprise. So look forward to having our journey in 2021 as we round out and go through 2022. So enjoy the broadcast. See you soon, and we're going to be communicating in the comments. All right, see you soon.
The environment was cleaned up.
First time I was hearing about this stuff. It was totally new to me.
With Social Impact Consulting. Hello, everyone. My name is Efwa Ede with Social Impact Consulting. I'm a development consultant with 20 years of experience working with NGOs, international NGOs, and bilateral agencies to work in project support, monitoring and evaluation, and civil society strengthening. So now, I saw that local NGOs lack the capacity to manage large-scale projects, which can in turn impact their various communities because they have the connection based on their backgrounds. So this made me create this channel so that I can add value to you for free once you subscribe to this channel and get notified of upcoming videos. I look forward to hearing from you.
Then, the environment was cleaned up.
The first time I was hearing about this stuff, it was totally new to me.
With Social Impact Consulting. Hello everyone, my name is Efwa Ede with Social Impact Consulting. I'm a development consultant with 20 years of experience working with NGOs, international NGOs, and bilateral agencies to work in project support, monitoring and evaluation, and civil society strengthening. So now, I saw that local NGOs lack the capacity to manage large-scale projects, which can in turn impact their various communities because they have the connection based on their backgrounds. So this made me create this channel so that I can add value to you for free once you subscribe to this channel and get notified of upcoming videos. I look forward to hearing from you. Hello everyone, how you doing? This is Efwa with Social Impact Consulting Devsectorseries. So today we are going to be interviewing a very special somebody, who is going to be talking to us about infrastructure in Africa. Okay, so as you come on, just let me know so that I can give you a shout out when you come up live. So today we are going to be interviewing one and only architect, Dr. Michael Osiegbe Onolememen. He is the Honorable Former Minister of Works. So I'm very excited about this because there's something I've been very curious about as a development enthusiast, is really trying to understand infrastructure in Africa and how everything kind of connects to ensuring we have a vibrant economy. So this is really, really, really exciting for us. So if you all would just do me a favor, and then just, if you have questions or anything like that, just put it in the comments below, okay? So that we'll be able to answer any questions that you might have in any of the information that he's sharing. He has a wealth of knowledge. He's an architect by profession, and he has really invested decades and decades into his craft, and he served our country as the Honorable Minister of Works. So I'm very excited about that. So wherever you are, just let us know where you're hailing from. So please questions till the end of the session. Just type in your questions as he's talking and giving us a lot of insight on this session, so that we will be able to answer your questions after the session has been completed. So right now we're going to be doing an introduction and playing his bio, so that we get a good sense of who we're going to be interviewing today. See you shortly. Architect Dr. Michael Osiegbe Onolememen, CON, the Honorable Former Minister of Works, who will be talking to us about infrastructure in Africa. Dr. Michael Osiegbe Onolememen was born in Uromi, Nigeria in 1965. He began his early education at the St. Anthony's Primary School, Uromi, and moved on to Annunciation Catholic College, Iruwa, Nigeria. He was admitted to the prestigious King's College, Lagos. He holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Architecture, Master's in Architecture, and Master's in Construction Management from Bendo State University, University of Nigeria, and University of Lagos, respectively. He also holds a PhD in Public Policy and Administration in 2015 from Walden University. He is an alumnus of the Harvard's Kennedy School of Government, where he obtained a professional certificate in infrastructure in the market economy. Dr. Onolememen is a fellow of the following Nigerian institutes: the Nigerian Institute of Architects, the Nigerian Institute of Management, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Nigerian Institute of Surveyors, Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society, the Academy of Entrepreneurial Studies, and the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. In 2000, Dr. Onolememen served as an executive member of the Management Committee on Petroleum Trust Fund. In 2007, he was appointed by the Minister of State for Defense by President Olusegun Obasanjo. He was principal consultant, GOMIC Consortium International Limited, a Nigerian architectural and engineering design firm until early 2011. From 2011 to 2015, Dr. Onolememen served as Minister of Works of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and had the responsibility for the design and supervision of construction and rehabilitation of the national roads infrastructure. He was a member of the National Economic Management Team from 2011 to 2015. From 2012 to 2015, Dr. Onolememen served as the chairman, Project Steering Committee of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, Regional Highway Project, Lagos, Abidjan, and Dakar Corridor, constituted by presidents and heads of government of West African countries. He was a member of the Ministerial Committee of the Nigerian Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan, NIIMP, and was the chair of the Technical Working Group on Transportation. In September 2014, Dr. Michael Osiegbe was honored with one of Nigeria's highest national award, Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON, by the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, in appreciation of his meritorious services to the nation. He has authored 2 books, Infrastructure Development in Nigeria, A Political and Economic History, published in London and New York in February 2020, and Bridging the Gap, Memoirs of Nigeria's former Minister of Works. Allow me to... Hello, Dr. Onolememen. How are you? Thank you so much for taking time out to talk to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Afua. I'm doing okay. I'm glad to be here.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us today. So as said in your extensive bio, you are really an infrastructure specialist, and I would call it an infrastructure enthusiast as well. So I just wanted to, for the sake of our audience today, can you just describe, sir, what is infrastructure and why is it very important?
Infrastructure refers to a system of resources that can be harnessed for the development of society.
Okay.
And infrastructure is very important in an economy in the same way the blood arteries are very important in the sustenance of life in the human being. In elementary biology, we are told that the arteries carries blood from the heart to the different organs of the body. In like manner, infrastructure carries commerce and economic activities from one part of a country to another, from one part of the continent to another, as well as from one part of the region to another. So it's as important as what the arteries is doing in our body. That is what infrastructure does on the economic landscape.
Okay, so just a second. So why is it important in a country? Why is it important for a country to have that kind of infrastructure to help it to thrive?
Well, for me, without infrastructure, your agricultural produce and the natural resources, they will become stagnated. You cannot really add value to them. Without infrastructure, you are not able to add value to your natural resources. You are not able to add value to agricultural produce in such a way that you can benefit maximally from them. So infrastructure is an enabler. It enables economic activities, it enables commerce, it also enables development in any society. So that is how important infrastructure is in an economy.
That is very interesting in terms of knowing the importance of infrastructure, talking about the fact that as arteries is to a human body, that is how important infrastructure is to a country. That is really an excellent illustration, sir. So as an infrastructure person and as the former Minister of Works, you served our country as the Minister of Works here in Nigeria under the former administration. So what were some of the challenges and some of the successes in developing and rehabilitating the road infrastructure in Nigeria?
Clearly, we had very huge challenges, and they are legion. But I will just mention a few. One, we had a very heavy project portfolio. Many of the projects were not performing, and a whole lot of the highways were abandoned. And of course, we had a dysfunctional structure in the federal ministry at the time, and these were militating against good governance of infrastructure development in Nigeria at the time. One of the things we did at the beginning, my team and I decided that we will not continue that route because we knew very well that it was not going to take us home in terms of the expectations from my boss at the time, the President Goodluck Jonathan, and indeed Nigerians who were complaining about the very poor state of roads at the time. So what we did was that, for instance, let me illustrate how difficult it is. Again, with very lean financial resources. For instance, the Federal Ministry of Work at the time required about 500 billion naira to be able to drive infrastructure development in the road sector. But what did we have under the yearly budget? We had, at best, we had about 100 billion naira in a few years from the national budget. And if you now compare that with requirement of 500 billion naira yearly, you immediately see that we have a funding gap of 400 billion naira. And the funding gap of 400 billion naira is not a little thing. So having realized that, we decided that we were going to leverage on other sources of income. For instance, we're going to tap into private resources through the public-private partnership initiative. And we said we're going to try the route of floating road bonds for road development. And of course, we also knew we were going to reinforce the collaboration with multilateral agencies like the World Bank, the Africa Development Bank, the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, and of course the China Exim Bank. And truly we leveraged on all these resources and we were able to deliver a lot of good projects to Nigerians at the end of the day.
Okay. So that was quite comprehensive. So there was a huge budget shortfall upon starting, and you all had to be really creative to make sure you're able to make up that shortfall and still deliver effectively. So so what were some of the successes of your role and your team during that time in terms of building that road infrastructure?
Okay, let me tell you one of the things we did. Again, noticing the lean resources from the budget, we decided to first and foremost prioritize roads in the ministry. So we identified the economic routes and we decided to focus on the economic road. For instance, all the roads that lead to the refineries, like the road to Port Harcourt refinery, the road to Warri refinery, the road to Kaduna refinery. They were all prioritized, and the roads to the seaports and to the airport were all prioritized. Then, of course, we had to, at the time, I had to collaborate with the then Minister of Agriculture to also prepare and help to rehabilitate road leading to major farms so that the agricultural produce could be evacuated to the marketplaces. So we were very targeting in deciding which role we're going to work on. We did that, and beyond that, through the public-private partnership initiative, we were able to start projects like the Second Niger Bridge, where Julius Berger initially collaborated with AIM of South Africa. However, AIM later, for some reasons, AIM later withdrawn from that partnership, and they were immediately replaced by Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority. We looked at that proposal, and as Minister of Work at the time, I approved the replacement of AIM by Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority to be the partners to Julius Berger at the time. And they've done very well on the Second Niger Bridge. I mean, once in a while, I pass through that alignment and I see the very massive progress they have recorded, and I'm very proud of that. Beyond that, as part of our effort to also stimulate private resources, Dangote Group engaged me as Minister of Work at the time, and we went through the rigors of looking for alternative materials for road construction, because we wanted to really reduce the component of imported materials for road construction in Nigeria. And I walked through with the president of Dangote, Alaide Dangote, who came severally to my office, and we discussed, and at the end of the day, with the support of the then Minister of Finance, Dr. Ogozie, we approved that particular reinforced concrete road for the Obajana-Kaba alignment in the north central part of Nigeria, in Kogi State. And to the glory of God, that road has been completed today. Not long ago, I had the privilege of driving through the road, and I was so satisfied that we did what we did at the time. And all these were part of just leveraging other non-budgetary resources to actually apply them in road development. We did all that. Then, talking about the multilaterals for road development at the time, a number of road projects were also accomplished through the Federal Road Development Project under the Federal Ministry of Works, but with funding back from the World Bank, the African Development Bank, and the Japanese International Cooperation Agency. And that particular road was the Nigeria section of the Trans-Saharan Highway, which starts from Algiers through Nigeria to the Cameroons. And the Nigeria-Cameroon alignment of it, we were able to complete that particular alignment before we left office, leaving only the final bridge from Calabar area, Akwa Ibom, to Cameroon. And I'm aware that that work is ongoing. About 3 months ago, I was in Akwa Ibom, by the way, and by coincidence, I met the former Director of Bridges under my leadership at the Ministry of Work, and he briefed me about the progress that have been made on that particular bridge. And once that bridge is completed, then the Nigeria section of the Trans-Saharan Highway would have been fully completed. So these were some of the takeaway. The Bida-Mokwa Road was part of the road funded under that initiative by the African Development Bank and the World Bank. Also, the Akure-Elisha Road was also funded under that particular initiative. Then, of course, the Abakaliki to Ogoja Junction, to Ikom, and to Umfom in Calabar also benefited from that particular initiative. So these are some of the success stories. But beyond this, we were able to start the dualization of the three major arterial north-south roads, Route A1, Route A2, and Route A3. And we actually reached a substantial level of completion along all roads before we left office. But beyond that, the other project that was introduced into this multilateral funding was arterial Route A3, which is the road from Abuja to Kefi, Kefi to Lafia, then of course Lafia to Makurdi, then Makurdi to Ninth Mile in Enugu State. So that one, we went to China at the time during the presidential visit to China. That was one of the major infrastructure project that was on the shopping list of government. I recall joining the Minister of Finance at the time, Dr. Ogozie Okonjo-Iweala, and the Agricultural Minister at the time, and of course the Minister of Transportation, the Minister of Aviation, and myself to negotiate the terms for those roads. For me, that particular road was my candidate project for that negotiation, and it was approved, and the road is going on well. It's being supervised by the Federal Road Development Project Office of the Federal Ministry of Works, and the work is going on well. So hopefully, that will give Nigerians alternatives, because right now, if you want to go to the south, the southeast, the south-south, you're almost likely to go through the Lokoja Bridge. And at times, where there are issues on that road, you are stranded. But the local Oweto Bridge that we built is going to provide an alternative route. It's already providing an alternative route to Benue State, so that those going to the southeast need not go to Lokoja, particularly with all the problems along that road. We did all that, and local Oweto Bridge was a bridge that started. I approved the design. I took it to Federal Executive Council. It was approved, and I kickstarted the project. I visited the site a number of times. And my predecessor, His Excellency, former Governor Fashola of Lagos State, continued with the good work we started. And that project is hitting completion any moment now. All the outstanding secondary accesses to the road. So these are some of the projects we completed. There are so many, but at least this stands out.
That's really amazing. Really making sure that there are roadways to certain areas of the country that did not exist, and also having these multilateral negotiations, public-private partnerships to make sure this happens, and making sure you are able to accommodate some of the budgetary shortfalls. That is some really amazing work, Dr. Onolememen. So now, you've already talked about some of the development partners that you all worked with in terms of the Chinese. You were able to work with the Africa Development Bank and some other stakeholders like the World Bank. Now, what we are seeing is that, in the development sector, these are some of the major players in terms of infrastructure. There's in terms of development aid, most of them, they shy away from infrastructure, and I wanted to kind of get your thoughts from that, and how do we change the narrative here in Africa?
Yeah, I agree with you that most of the development agencies, they are not interested in infrastructure because of the huge capital requirement for infrastructure development, and that is understandable. But again, it is not only that. Even the few funding agencies that are available, development partners in our country, particularly the state actors, they are highly trained in how to prepare in terms of project preparation and project supervision, even including project design. Because these multilateral agencies, they are very concerned about all three. And we have a responsibility to train our state actors, and even for development consultants in our country, to also get themselves engaged in more training so that they will learn the rules. And I believe that Africa Development Bank is well placed to impart that particular knowledge on these critical stakeholders. It is very important, because without that, the funds may be there, but the access to the fund will not be possible.
I see. So that is really something in terms of trying to ensure that there is human capital development, especially in the area of infrastructure in Africa, with regards to the technical workers and also the development consultants, so that there's more comfort. And also, you talked about the huge capital investment in terms of building infrastructure in a place like Africa. So my next question to you, sir, is that in terms of us citizens, we see whether it be infrastructure or the lack thereof in in Africa, not just in Nigeria, all over sub-Saharan Africa. What do you think we citizens can do so we're able to better engage with government to see how we can do our part in infrastructure development?
Well, for me, I think there is need for increased citizens' participation in governance. Because governance is not all about political governance. You also have economic governance and you have social governance. All are three parts of governance. However, you may shy away from political governance, but for God's sake, be interested in economic and social governance, because it's going to affect each and every one of you as a citizen. And when you know that the purpose of government is to look after their citizens. That is the purpose why government is in place, to look after the citizens. So you should not shy away from engaging your government and your government leaders in critical areas you think your life will be better, your life will be made better. But more often than not, in Africa especially, the relationship between the government and the people looks like this master and slave relationship. It did not be so. The citizens should exercise their right. After all, their right to vote is also equal to their right to demand a number of things from the government of the day, be it infrastructure or be it good policies that will impact their lives. So they should not shy away from it. And if you don't ask, you don't get in the kind of society we live in here. So it is very important. After all, the purpose of government is the pursuance of happiness for the greater majority of the people, isn't it? That is what it is. So, but if you, the people, are not tasking government to do certain things that will make life better for you, then of course you are failing in your responsibility. And oftentimes you blame the government, but you've not done your part. So as citizens, we should be able to play our role, do our part, and let the government do its part.
Okay. So in terms of there should be more citizen engagement, there needs to be more accountability and more advocacy from the citizens, so that the government actually knows what the citizens want. So that is really a great point. You know, sometimes we say, oh, this is what we want, but we are not clear and we don't have a clear plan on who we can engage in terms of liaising with government. And you also talked about economic governance and societal governance, which is really a good insight for all of us in terms of there are different civil society organizations in Nigeria and around Africa that are working to hold government accountable. What you're saying is that there needs to be more of that, so that the government hears the desires of the people. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm saying that and even more. For instance, when I was in office as Federal Minister of Work, I submitted to an accountability program on AIT every day. In all the theaters we were working all across the country, residents of those areas were permitted to report any infraction any of our contractors or consultants were engaged in. And that put everybody on his toes. That is the kind of accountability we should all subscribe to, whether on the side of government or on the side of citizens. It's something we must do if we have to go forward as a serious nation, as a serious country. That is it.
Thank you, sir. That is some really great insight in terms of citizen engagement. So I wanted to get some more insight from you in terms of talking from the lens of government itself in Africa. So you were able to work. You chaired a committee for the in ECOWAS in terms of the Lagos and Abidjan road network. So you really had multilateral conversations. So what do you recommend to African government in engaging with stakeholders to build better infrastructure? So what do you feel like governments needs to do around the continent?
From my experience on the ECOWAS highway, where I served as the chairman of the Ministerial Implementation Committee, I will want to advise Africa government not to settle for small, because we are used to working in silos in Africa. Everybody is doing his own thing or her own thing, and they don't connect. They become individual silos every here and there, and you cannot maximize such infrastructure. So I want them to take a cue from the ECOWAS leaders when they decided to build a supranational highway. In other words, even though the highway passes through about 5 or 6 countries, it is not owned by any of the country. A
I see.
supranational agency was created to manage the affairs of that highway. In like manner, I will advise African leaders to come together as Africans and take a decision truly to build continental-wide infrastructure. There's no reason on earth why we cannot have a highway and a rail line from Cairo to Cape Town and from Lagos to Mombasa, linking the northern part of Africa to the southern part and the western part of Africa to the eastern part of Africa. That is the kind of supranational infrastructure we need in Africa for us to know that we are serious in this continent. And it's a task that must be done. We know that Africa, as it is today, suffers infrastructure deficit of about $70 billion yearly. But with the right foundation, they can overcome that. With the right foundation, we can overcome that. But first of all, is to have the political will to get it done. Once the political will is there, Africa is blessed with a lot of resources, natural and human. And we can tap into all these resources and work out the final details of such a continental-wide infrastructure that will be to the benefit of Africa. For instance, we are talking about the Africa Common Trade Agreement that was entered into last year, finally. And that agreement will be dead if there is no commensurate infrastructure at the continental level to help breathe life into that free trade agreement. What are you going to be trading with that if you don't have if you don't add value to your natural resources? What are you going to be trading? Raw material that our forefathers traded with over 400 years ago, and we are still doing that. We should do more than that. Come on, we should do more than that. Africa, we need to wake up and let this done everywhere. Europe is an example. And there's no reason if our leaders cooperate, why we cannot replicate it in Africa. So this is my advice to African leaders. Thank you.
That is really that was quite comprehensive in terms of making sure that there is the infrastructure that is in place so that we can link ourselves to develop our economy through infrastructure. You talked about the roadway, the railways, making sure that everybody is talking to each other, so that we are able to take ourselves seriously. This is quite insightful, sir. So you've
Hello, everyone. My sincerest apologies for some of the network issues concerning the streaming. So I just wanted to let you know that this streaming is available on Social Impact Consulting, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So you go on hashtag Devsectorseries, you'll be able to see it. So if you want to finalize and see the concluding part of this interview on his final thoughts on infrastructure in Africa, you can go to any of those streaming platforms to take a look at it, so that we don't have some inconsistencies in the flow of these streaming platforms. As you know, we're in Africa. You know, issues with the broadband networks and the Wi-Fi can kind of come into bear. Even in the live streamings, when we do them, we just try to manage and navigate our way through some of the network issues that we have. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you visit my website, www.socialimpact.ng, to sign up for our course, NGO Fundraising for Social Impact. If you're also interested in the ebook webinar combo, you can also visit the website or WhatsApp me at 0703-539-8086. That's 0703-539-8086. So I look forward to hearing from you. Next week, we're going to have some more goodies for you in terms of the broadcast of the Development Sector Series, known as hashtag Devsectorseries. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy holiday, and let's change the world together. You take care. Bye-bye.